Yo, you know what time it is. We back up at it. My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 6. Man, like I say in, a lot of my outros, I don't even really have to get on here and really get into too much. This to show y'all, to convey how dope this show is. They ain't playing no games. They doing it again, and it's another episode. Let's jump right in with the positives. Okay, so thank Zeus, Archimedes, Jesus, Buddha, Thor, thank them all. Because Shigaraki does not have one for all. I'm going to say that again. Shigaraki does not have one for all. This is a true blessing, okay? And they left it ambiguous, which is why I like this show. We're going to get into why we know he doesn't have one for all a little bit later in the episode, but thank all the Pantheon, Egyptian, the pyramids, thank them all that this man does not have one for all. Okay, but, he's coming for it though. He's coming for it, okay? He, through some tyrannical twist of fate, this man actually has the search quirk. So he can see and he knows the weakness of anyone the search quirk, anyone, the person who holds it, including himself at this point, has seen. So he can just see Deku, who he's looking for, or anyone really, at an extreme distance, and he also knows their weakness, but they haven't gotten to that yet, so we'll get to that later. But this is pure horror. This is pure horror. The episode, there's this giant dust cloud created from when he used decay and destroyed, like the whole downtown of the city. So no one can really see anything except for Shigaraki. He can just, he has X-ray vision, but even better. I remember when they showed the search quirk in season 5, I was like, yo, does someone really have this? This is jacked up. It's just OP. Well, guess what? Shigaraki has it now. So he's just getting stronger and stronger, more and more horrifying, and he's coming for Deku. And the crazy thing is, this is scary, but it's also great because this is the growing up. This is the true growing up moment for Deku. The actual growing up moment. He fought Muscular, great battle. He fought Overhaul, destroyed Overhaul, one of the best moments of the entire series. But, he was able to do these things. He has one for all. He had the 100% cowling when he fought Overhaul. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? He had the tools. But this... Now he's got to face Shigaraki. Shigaraki's legit with no other quirks. But now he's got... I'm going to get into what he has in a second. He's coming for Deku. He's actually coming for one for all. Deku can't run. He's got to grow up. And this is the moment. So this show, it's obviously a coming of age show in addition to, an action show. Just a lot of stuff. And this is a real coming of age moment. You know what I mean? This man, Deku, it's time to grow up. Great element of the show. So they showed in the preview from the last episode Shigaraki blasting off, and we find out how he's able to do that. And again, I'm gonna get into that a little bit more in a second because it's scary. It's horrifying, but it was supposed to be. So they cut to the city. So now Deku overhears over the communicators, and Bakugo does as well, that Shigaraki wants one for all. To all the other people, this doesn't really mean anything because very few people know the secret of one for all because it is a secret, how it's passed down. Bakugo knows, Deku, he has it, he knows, and Gran Torino knows. So they hear it, and it's like, oh, we got a jet. Shigaraki's coming for me. We got to get out of here. So they're running. And, Deku throws in his comment to Bakugo. He's like, you're following me? And Bakugo goes, what do you think, you're the main character now? Bro, that's how you break the fourth wall. It was so elegant. It was so funny. It was just good. It wasn't over the top. No one looked at the camera. It wasn't too crazy. It was an ideal, and it was a perfect fourth wall break. I loved it. So they also casually threw in that little interaction when Deku and Bakugo, they're going to basically get somewhere away from all the other people, so Shigaraki is not near them. Bakugo's like, yeah, Deku can use 30% full cowling, just, casually. He can use it all the time now. I thought that was dope because I didn't know that. Yo, he can just use 30% of the power of one for all at all times? Come on, man. That's enough to wipe nearly anyone in the entire series, but completely. 30% of the power of All Might, 30% of the power of the Hulk, basically, but stronger. Come on, man. That was good news because I didn't know that. They never said that specifically. So he can use 30% of One For All, just he can basically hold it. You know what I'm saying? Like Super Saiyan, when Goku was holding it at all times. That is great news. That puts Deku above 99.99% of all characters in the whole series, just off top. You got Shigaraki, you got Gigantomachia, you know, characters like that. But my man Deku's coming up. That's great news. And they said he can push to 45% when he needs to. That's great. I mean, that's legit. But then Bakugo also casually throws in, he's like, yeah, and even at 30% One For All, I can keep up with Deku. Okay. Bakugo he's powerful, he's very smart as well. Fast, all that, very skilled, a good fighter. 30% as fast as All Might? I'm not sure who wrote that, or, you know, Bakugo wrote it, maybe, I don't know. That's a little bit of a stretch. I like Bakugo, he's a great character. 30% as fast as All Might? Okay. Keep striving, keep dreaming. Okay, so now we get to kind of the end of the episode where they go a little deeper into what exactly happened to Shigaraki, as well as introducing things, but also introducing more mysteries into the plot. That's what I like. You don't want to know everything up front, you know. They're putting little breadcrumbs out there, little teasers, kind of keeping it a little mysterious, a little ambiguous. I like that. So the thing so we know that Shigaraki's coming for One For All, like a madman. And I'm getting that in a little bit more in a second. He's got the glowing eyes, the surge quirk, super scary, just like going through the mist. A weird guy, but also kind of cool. Got the white hair, he's yoked up now, and also like ungodly powerful, super powerful. But the thing about One For All, which is what thwarted All For One for like 300 years, at least his whole life, is you can't steal it. Now, Shigaraki has All For One, which is disturbing. So All For One's reborn, but even better. No one wants that. So he can steal quirks, put them inside himself. I think he can amplify them, and he can also give them to other people. Just a super creepy quirk, but very powerful. One For All For One was never able to get One For All because you can't steal it. That's the thing. Once he gave it to his brother 300-400 years ago, that was it. That was a wrap. You know, there's no opportunity to get it back. That's scary that he had One For All inside his body as well. All For One, I think he's the original quirk holder, but I'm sure they're going to reveal that in time. So One For All has to be passed on willingly and consciously from person to person. And that's the thing about it. They've kept it a secret, like in their world, because they don't want people to know the secret of One For All. But it almost doesn't matter because you can't force someone to give it up. You can't steal it. It has to be consciously, it's a spiritual type of quirk, has to be passed on. So, you know, I guess you could force the person, like put them in a situation where they only have an option to give it to you, or, you know, something weird happens. But if you have One For All, getting into a situation like that or putting them in a situation like that is like nigh near impossible. So even they should just let the secret out because it's safe. I mean, like, just let them know. Just let them know what One For All is. So Shigaraki's plan is to steal it. So I'm like, All For One couldn't do that. That's not a part of the quirk. So like, what is he actually planning to do? We don't know. But this show is great at like revealing mysteries, keeping things going, and making everything make sense. So I'm sure they're going to reveal it. But it's a very good question. It's something I'm wondering about. So as we learned, to everyone's horror, the reason why Shigaraki's able to run around like that and he like blasts it off and he's like moving through the air is because, thank the Lord, you know, thank Poseidon that he does not have One For All, but that Dr. Scientist increased the power of his body, a la the Nomu, and basically copying everything that All Might had done. All Might's like this mythical character, so everyone's trying to like replicate his power. Kind of like the super soldier serum in Marvel Comics, you know. A lot of things that happen in Marvel Comics, especially the Ultimate Universe, were just directly related to the existence of the super soldier serum. People wanted to replicate it, like Captain America and the super soldier serum on this legendary level. So it's kind of like All Might as well. So just his strength, what he could do, they wanted to replicate it. So the Doctor was able to put a portion, you know, maybe like Nomu level, maybe even higher, of All Might's strength into Shigaraki's body. But it's not a quirk, it's his DNA, okay? His DNA. He altered his genetic code, so his body is just naturally stronger, faster, more durable, all that kind of stuff. This season is an ongoing horror film. A good one, though. One that I'm very tuned in for. Just when you thought that it couldn't get any creepier or scarier or something weirder couldn't happen, it got weirder. I did not expect that. That was a real surprise. He had him in the tank, in the tube, you know, the 4 months, maybe a little bit less than 4 months, augmenting his body, giving him all these quirks. You didn't really know what was happening to him. We found out a little bit more about what happened to him. But to think that he actually transformed his DNA, so he's kind of like a Nomu now, super weird. That's crazy. Eraserhead can't shut his quirk off or can't shut that power off. That puts him on kind of another tier than your standard One For All user. He's not as powerful, not nearly as powerful as One For All, but he has some power. But yeah, even when Eraserhead shuts his quirk down, he can just like jump in the air, do all this crazy. He can fight. You can't really fight him. It's scary. It's scary. So we know a lot more about what happened to Shigaraki. So yeah, for example, with this ability, not even a quirk, with his transformation, he's jumping into the air. He can't fly, much like All Might or a few of the heroes that can actually fly, but he can strike the air so hard that he can change his acceleration, his direction in the air. So he can mimic flying, but at an extremely high level. Like he's swimming through the air, but with force. This dude is OP. So yeah, Shigaraki is more of an issue than he already was. You know, just super powerful. And shout out Eraserhead, by the way, because he's always been a cool character. They made him cool, you know. But seeing him in action is always so awesome because now, when the stakes are highest, when the show is at its creepiest, when the strongest villain, possibly stronger than All For One, has emerged, Eraserhead's on the front line. Just like, with the look, the red eyes, shutting down quirks, bro. Like, he's just legit. Shout out Eraserhead. A really cool character, man. Just really dope. And a final note on the positives. This is, you know, save it for last note. I want to talk about Shigaraki a little bit. Okay. And the dichotomy between him and Deku. See, the thing about it is, why Deku it's time for him to grow up is because Shigaraki's different than him. Not on like a genetic level. Well, he kind of is now. But his attitude is different. As soon as Shigaraki got his powers, there was no like indecision or what's going on. He instantly had them. He owned them, his powers. And he knew how to use them. That might be a result of the genetic manipulation, like it's in his, you know, deep memory, genetic memory, but he knows how to use them. He accepts his power and he uses it. When he got out, he was like, I know where All For One is, One For All, I'm going straight for it. There's no like mental confusion, you know. Deku's not confused, but he's a different type of character. He's more cerebral, you know, getting used to his emotions, that kind of stuff. So it's like, Deku's gonna have to really come along in his progression in order to face him. Not even on a power level, but on an attitude level, like a psychological level. Because Shigaraki has the will, he has the emotional disposition at this point in his progression. And he, as a side note, he has like the athletic ability. This dude, like, you don't think of Shigaraki as like an athlete. He's kind of like, especially when he first came out, he's like scroggly, you know, looked like he was trying to stay alive at all times. This man is agile, athletic. Like when he gets his powers, he knows how to use them. They remark the other characters like his movements are getting better and better. He's just legit. So this dude's like an athlete as well. Who knew? So yeah, he's got the gas. Ultimately, obviously, Deku is he's just stronger. And I would actually say Deku's probably smarter than Shigaraki. So that's definitely going to come in handy. But in order to actually face him, Deku's going to have to, you know, just kind of grow up a little bit, mature. Just in like an internal sense, which is fine. It's good. That's what it's going to push him to do. So I'm super excited for that. Shout out to Shigaraki. They're just a really insane type character. Really cool. He's got to go down, of course, but you know, creepy, but cool. Okay. So the room for improvement, man, not much. And this is the second episode of in a row of the only show this has ever happened on. None. Well, I ain't got none. Like what's up? Let me know what's up with it. It's legit. The pacing, the action, you hear my voice crack? The action, man, like the emotional weight. This is My Hero Academia. This ain't your cousin down the street show, your little homegirl. Nah, man. This is MHA, bro. Izuku Midoriya, Toshinori Yagi, All Might. This is My Hero Academia. And they did it again. I don't really have anything. I'm going to have to maybe start nitpicking because I can't let these shows just run loose, run wild and free with no critique, with no commentary. But on just a real level, I really don't have anything to say about it. It was super solid. And there's no like specific element I can say that's like a room for improvement, which is crazy. It would be My Hero Academia, the first show to really do this. But like I said, I might start going into the weeds a little bit, looking, because I can't let these shows run completely wild and free, you know what I'm saying? You know, as Cinema Sins Jeremy says, no film is without sin. or, you know, no production in this case. But until I whip out the magnifying glass, which I may or may not do, bro, it's just free of room for improvement. So, you know, I'm gonna always give credit where credit's due. Now for the rating, a solid 4 out of 5. Again, I've got all this praise, great episode, no room for improvement. It's a 5 out of 5. Not because we just know what a 5 out of 5 and beyond episode of My Hero Academia looks like. So this was a super solid episode. It was great, had the emotional weight. And I think an underrated characteristic of My Hero Academia is the mystery element that they have in the plot or in the show itself. That's a great element. Maybe it's just a character of the personality of the writers naturally, or maybe something they intentionally baked in. But it has a mystery element, and it's had it since the first season. First, we didn't even know what One for All was. We didn't know who All for One was. Where did quirks come from? And there's the main storyline, and there's this like mystery storyline that's steadily evolving on like a macro scale and a micro scale. So it's like, that's a great element of this show, is the mystery element. So this episode definitely had that. There's still some unanswered questions. They answered some questions. They introduced some more questions. Super great. So yeah, but a solid 4 out of 5. The 5 out of 5s, the 6 out of 5s and beyond are coming. But, you know, this is a legit 4 out of 5. And guess what? That's it. Man, that's all I got for y'all. Another solid episode in the books, in the archives of My Hero Academia. They know what they're doing. That's why I like watching this show. Because I wake up at 5 in the morning to watch it, you know what I'm saying? With the 2 cups of coffee, ready. And I'm hyped. Y'all hear my voice? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped right now. This is real talk, okay? We out here. So yeah, Black Panther is out in, what, 6 days? Whoo, crazy. Crazy. Did not snuck up on you, snuck up on us. But like I say, you know, things seem like they're a long way away, but I'm gonna tell you something. They're gonna be here before you know it. And Black Panther, that's the case. So I'll have the review ready for that. I did another Lego review of the Mandalorian Starfighter a couple days ago. Super great video. I love doing those videos. They're just fun. You know, Legos are deep in the game with nerd culture, deep in the game with my own life. So of course I love, you know, interacting with those and letting y'all know what sets you need to buy. The holidays are coming up. You got kids out there or yourself. Legos are great. I love Legos. So make sure to check out that review. And obviously, My Hero Academia next week. You know I got y'all linked in on that. I got you laced in the fabric, in the fibers, the life fibers. Shout out Kill la Kill on that. Once more, it's more than likely that I'm just gonna have to sit up here and tell you how dope the episode was rather than anything else. I'll see if I can find some room for improvements, but you know, it's gonna be another let's let the word out on how legit, how dope the show is. And if you're not watching it for some reason, like you don't have eyes or a TV, or oh my God, you don't like anime? Who are you? What are you? If for some reason you're not watching it, watch it, okay? Life advice, life fibers. Get in the game on that. And that's it. Like I always say, you know, until I catch you on the next one, stay up, because that's real life advice. You never want to be this direction. Always be this direction. That's facts. Mexico City, Flexico City. Y'all know me. We out here. Toshinori Yagi, Izuku Midoriya. You know, we doing it big. And yes, I'm going to see y'all soon. Y'all know I'm going to see y'all soon. Stay up. I just got to say it one more time. And until the next one, peace.